develop your investing circles. That investing circles does not need to be only with the people who are full-time investors or traders in the market, but also people from across the horizon. So you can have people from supply chain, marketing, PR. You can have people who are working in various industries. That while talking to them, you get a lot of perspective.
Hello everyone, my name is Hridyansh and you are watching Cliqtax. Our today's guest has over a decade experience in investment analysis and portfolio management. He is an engineering graduate of Delhi University and earned his MBA in Finance and Strategy from Queensland University of Technology, Brisbane. Please welcome Mr. Amit Kumar Gupta on our show Cliqtax.
Hi, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Amitji, first of all, we would like to thank you for providing us your valuable time and sharing your thoughts with us.
Yeah, pleasure is mine. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
I have prepared a list of some relevant questions so as to make this conversation more understandable to the viewer. So shall I start now?
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Okay. So first of all, we would like to know about your journey and experiences so far, and what was the inspiration behind selecting finance as your career?
Right. So I started my career as a business analyst with Dell. I did computer engineering from Delhi University, as you said. But my forte or my interest always lies in business analysis and reading about companies, understanding how they are, working, what kind of management is leading them, and those kind of stuff. So I started my career then there. And I did my MBA from Queensland University. Post that, I was into consulting for a couple of years. And during all this time, I was, involved in stock markets. Partially, I was investing. I was sort of doing a little bit of scuttlebutt, where you are actually going and meeting the management. And the consulting experience really helped me in the terms that it is sort of end-to-end kind of work. Where you're starting with building up a strategy for the client, then you're delving into the financials, then you are looking at the marketing strategies, the operational strategies, the marketing, the PR, etc. So it's a sort of an end-to-end kind of a work role, and that really opened my vision, of being in the markets full time and taking this opportunity at our family firm to build up the research desk here. And it's been almost now 10 years now. So after building up the research desk, we have also ventured out in giving out our research services and also the portfolio management services. So it's been almost like 10 years full time in financial markets and almost 20 years tracking the markets.
Okay. So is your family background is also finance and you are promoting the legacy?
Yeah, sort of, yes. Just to give me a brief background about our company, Adroit Financial, we started in '93 as a broker, and then we have been a member of NSE and BSE since 2002 onwards. Also a member of MCX since 2005. And our turnover of our company on the exchanges, we are among the top 10 players turnover wise on the exchange. Those kind of things really motivate you to do well and to help others being invested in the market and try and make some money out of the markets.
Right. So during your journey, would you like to share some of the challenges that you would like to mention and how you overcome them?
Right. So I think investing in the markets, different people approach it different ways. One is that a lot of people are actually looking for sort of part-time, trading opportunities, which can, supplement main income. And some people want to, do it full time as well. And some people want to, they have already have money from their actual profession or the business, and they want to have an opportunity to create wealth for themselves
Right.
by investing into the equity markets. So for me, I think initial few years when I did couple of times internship with Adroit Financial and with couple of other brokerages also. My sense was that this is just not buying and selling. It's very common to say that, okay, I'll buy low and high, sell high, okay, or I'll short the market at higher price and get it. It is very common, but there is a lot of behavioral science behind it. And luckily, from a very early age, I was a very voracious reader, so I used to read quite a lot of books, and especially on investing and so on. And luckily, I read more about Indian investors than the investors mostly in US. uh, and that really helped me in understanding the psychology of how investing works or how the markets actually work. And so that helps me now in when I'm advising all the clients as well. I know that from if someone is asking a question, from where he or she is coming from, because I can understand the emotions behind it, I can understand the psychology and the behavior behind it.
Right.
So, so just like to give you an example, um, the founder of McDonald's, he a few years ago he was asked, how you were able to make up this big business of McDonald's, and he said, I am not in a business of making people eat food actually, because my food is similar across all outlets. I am actually in a business of real estate, because I pick the location and I take a lot of time in picking the location. If I location is right, then people will come, because the taste of McDonald's burger, it's same everywhere. So the key to understanding here is that apart from the fact that everybody wants to make money in the market, it is critical to understand what goes behind that, and just not get fascinated by the profit and loss statement. Uh, right now, the noise is quite high, as the markets are at a lifetime high. So needs to the biggest challenge is to how to cut out that noise and how to be focused and stay invested in the markets.
Okay. As you are saying that you are also an avid reader, so and I have also gone through your tweet on some book by written by Mr. Rajat Gupta.
Sure.
So
That's the
so
latest which I finished last
yeah.
week.
So would you like to share some insights from that book?
Sure. For those viewers who don't know, Rajat Gupta was a big founding member, I mean CEO of Goldman Sachs. Before that, he was almost for 30 years he was associated with McKinsey, and this in 2011-12, this controversy breakout where he was accused of insider trading. And the background of Rajat Gupta is very interesting, because he started as a from a sort of a lower middle class family in Calcutta. And then in the 1970s, he did his engineering from IIT Delhi. And then after that, he moved to Harvard for his MBA in business management in US. And then he almost had a 30-year run at McKinsey. And then he moved to Goldman Sachs, and then the controversy erupted because of insider trading cases. So it's a very interesting, very inspirational, sort of a story that someone from India, reached almost the whatever best can happen actually being in the US for almost 35 years. And then everything, got unraveled because of certain mistakes which he did by diverging the inside information. And then he was jailed for a couple of years, and he came out in 2016, I think. And this book came out in 2019 end. So I was always wanted to explore what was the more psychology behind how he handled all that pressure, etc. It was a very good read in that sense. Understand the psychology of the person
Okay.
behind the rise and the fall.
Okay. So I would like to ask that there are so many online platforms available nowadays for starting to invest
Yes.
in the stock market.
Yes.
Like by simply using the smartphones, one can start investing. But still, people feel it very risky to come in a stock market. So how one can start
Hmm.
investing as well as learn about it?
Right. So you are right. The investing, the process of starting investing has become very easy. You can open now accounts within few minutes. You just need to have Aadhaar, a mobile number, and an email address, and you can start doing it. It is also true that a lot of platforms have come which can incite trading, at a very regular. But what people also need to understand that there is a risk management which comes along with that. Uh, Along with that trading or investing which you are doing, and the first uh, theme about investing is that your capital should be protected at all times. So the right now the issue is that there is too much information. Also, you have got all the social media, Twitter, WhatsApp, LinkedIn.
Right.
There are Telegram channels, telling you what to buy, what not to buy. So the noise is very critical also. Uh, so my sense is that a person who has seen few cycles in the market, they are better equipped to handle. So I always tell this, short story that there are all the investors in India. They go through three cycles. In the first cycle, they invest on their own, and they may make profit or loss, but by the end of the cycle they make loss. Then in the second cycle they take help of an advisor, but their actual portfolio becomes a sort of a combination of their own picks and the advisor's picks, so it becomes sort of a hodgepodge. And in the third, they finally decide, okay, I have learned a lot from the two cycles, so I can do this on my own, or I don't have the time or the bandwidth to do this full time. So let me hire an advisor who is going to tell me what to buy and what to sell, or he is going to be managing money on my behalf. So my sense is that people go through these three cycles, and whatever is their experience in these three cycles, depends on what is going to be their journey for the next 20, 30, 40 years after that as
Okay.
well. So that is true that a lot of online platforms is coming, but with all these platforms, the noise is also increasing. Noise to constantly buy and sell is also increasing. So that's why it becomes important that you need to have an advisor or a holding hand which can guide you through at least the first two cycles of the market.
Right. Okay. So as we are talking about risk management, so I would like to ask that for a layman, stock market is already considered as a very typical topic. But now as Bitcoin is in news and headlines all the time, so we would like to know about it, like how it is different from stock market actually.
Okay. So Bitcoin is, that's a myth that Bitcoin is a new something new which has come up.
Hmm.
Bitcoin has been here since 2009, and the buzz around Bitcoin or the cryptocurrencies in general started around 2016, 17 when there was a huge rally
Right.
in the price of Bitcoins and almost all the cryptocurrencies. So Bitcoin is basically sort of your digital currencies where you do not need to have a sort of a bank account. You only need to have Bitcoins, and that can be easily transferred via online mediums. So you can transfer it through your mobile, you can transfer it through your desktop, etc. Uh, the issue is that the Bitcoin mining that is just started in the past 10 years, and that is expected to go on for about another 100 years or so. The but the technology of the block technology on which the Bitcoin is based, that is going to stay, whether it is in the form of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, etc. Technology is going to stay, And because of the globalization which we have seen, because of how the payment structures are developing, in India right now, it does not matter whether you are transferring, whether you are transacting with a HDFC Bank or a Bank of Baroda.
Right.
Okay, the process is same. Uh, so obviously your customer experience may differ from one bank to another, but the transaction process is same everywhere. I think the banks in that sense is becoming transactional. And if you start transacting bitcoins, then you don't need to have a bank account. So it is sort of a form of a parallel currency which is developing. And good thing about is that it is gaining acceptance. More companies are putting out Bitcoin in the form of their transaction. So you'll have this uh, PayPal recently allowing payments in the form of Bitcoin. There are a couple of other big names also who have started allowing Bitcoin payments. So it is gaining more acceptance. I think in the next 4 or 5 years, Bitcoin payments will become much more common. Uh, like we have the cash transaction now, we can have the Bitcoin payments. And my sense is that also uh, very few institutions hold Bitcoin in the form of their asset allocation. So you have equity allocation, you have debt allocation, you have gold. Similarly, the institution holding in Bitcoin, that is less than 5% currently. So my sense is in the next 5 years, this can move from 5 to 30, 40, 50 times, 50% also. So you will see more people, transacting, investing, speculating in Bitcoin. So it is sort of a technology of the future.
Okay. So now my next question I would like to ask is someone is a beginner in a stock market and he wants to start investing. So will you
Mhm.
rather suggest him investing starting with index fund or there are some other options available to start with? What would it be?
So index funds is definitely a good starting point. So anyone who is started working, let's say, fresh out of college, started working, index fund is a good place to start with. Simply because it forces you to save something. Okay, and the first rule of investing is that you need to save money to invest. If you're not saving, then you cannot invest.
Definitely.
So, for example, if somebody is starting with, let's say, a 15 20,000 per month salary, so probably he can, sort of 10% as saving. He can put that in an index fund over a period of time, and he can reap benefits of the compounding which happens with the index funds.
Right.
But index funds is good for beginners, but after you have developed a certain sort of a AUM for yourself, certain savings is there, then it's better to look forward in developing your knowledge base and look for direct equities as well, or via mutual funds, whatever is convenient. And then there are various themes which you can explore within that: mid cap, small cap, special situation kind of investing. So we do a PMS, based out of special situation as well. That will, that is going to one of the ways. But yes, definitely index funds which are cheap, in terms of cost which are involved in that. That is a good starting point for anyone who's coming into the market. And what is also important in while doing index funds is it gives you a behavioral edge. When you are investing, let's say for example, a person who started investing last year in January, so for a couple of months the market was good, then we had this big crash in March, and then the market started recovering. So he's investing all through that lows and highs of the market, and at the same time his behavior is also getting rectified, modified, improved, in the sense that he's investing across all cycles of the market and not just at when the market is at the top.
Right.
Yeah, so that helps newbie investor.
Right. So now last but not the least, Samitji, I would like to ask for the finance learners, what mantra you would like to give and also something that helps you to become a portfolio manager.
Right. So I don't know. I mean, the about portfolio manager, I get asked this a lot, but I think there are a couple of like very basic things, which come across. One is that you need to be a very you need to read everything under the sun, uh, because when you read various topics, and not just related to financial markets in general, about reading about businesses, the management, how the leadership is developing, uh, even reading fiction and non-fiction as well, not just non-fiction, reading fiction also, that opens up your mind a lot, and that gives you a perspective about everything in life in general, and also you get the feedback about the markets. Second is that when you are interacting, and nowadays because of the social media, it is very easy to reach out to people. In the 2000s, early 2000s, when we used to do all this scuttlebutt and all, it was difficult to contact. The mobiles were also very new into the system, and so it was not that difficult, but still, it was not that like click. Right now, if I have to interact with, let's say, Cliqtax, I only need to drop you a message or a mail, and it has become very easy to communicate. But so develop your circle, develop your investing circles. That investing circles does not need to be only with the people who are full-time investors or traders in the market, but also people from across the horizon. So you can have people from supply chain, marketing, PR. You can have people who are working in various industries. That while talking to them, you get a lot of perspective into the market. And thirdly, I think travel a lot, because in India, we are still not a very mature market to invest, and we still have sort of a long way to go. So travel and try and understand what is the socio-political, economic conditions, and just not happening in like the big towns, but also in the small towns, and tier 2, tier 3 cities, what is happening in Himalayas, what is happening in the coastal regions, etc. So my advice to anybody who wants to become a full-time investor, or who wants to dabble, start dabbling into the markets, these three are essential skills for anyone. Read, develop contacts, and travel.
Okay. And I think modern days scuttlebutt is on Twitter, LinkedIn. We can say that.
Yeah, yeah. So that adds a lot of noise. It is good. The social media is good to develop contacts. So you can, if you have a doubt in while you are developing a theory about a stock, or while you are understanding a business, and you want to, have some cross questions, and you do not have access directly to the management, then that good, way of doing a cross check across your social contacts. But ultimately, the scuttlebutt comes from the having done the groundwork, and going and meeting the actual businesses, meeting suppliers, the vendors, meeting the people who are in the value chain, and understanding what is their experience, understanding the how the users are reacting to any product or any service. So the scuttlebutt just not needs to be on social media; it needs to go out more, and actually travel and see on the ground or how it is happening.
Right. Okay, Amitji, it was a good session today with you. And I believe
Okay.
whoever will watch this session will definitely get something or some insights about investing from here. So thank you again for your valuable time and contribution. And we would be happy to reconnect with you in future for more good sessions like these, especially on investing and portfolio management.
Thank you for having me, and it was a pleasure to be here. I look forward in the future to connect again.
Sure, sir. Have a great day ahead.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.